video, I'm going to show you how to install our forearm on the Crosman 2240. Some quick details about this forearm. It's 3D printed in ABS plastic. As you can see, it has a very nice finish. It is really thick. The whole thing is printed solid. It's not hollow. I did hollow out a little space right here just to take the weight down a little bit. You'll be really surprised at how heavy it is for how small this thing is, but everything is just a lot thicker and beefier. 3D printed parts aren't quite as strong as injection molded parts, so you have to make things thicker and think about the way you design them, make sure they're nice and tough and are built to last. But I'm really pleased with how this came out. It really flows well with the gun, and also it adds a little Picatinny accessory rail there, and still provides a decent amount of room for hand hold, even with a bipod. Obviously, folks with big hands, you know, it's going to be a little tough to get your hand on there with a bipod or any accessory down here. But I tried to maximize the amount of grip you have by, you know, extending this out here while not blocking the CO2 cap. And I think I've been pretty successful at that. I'm really pleased with it. I've tested this a lot. I've done a whole lot of iterations, and really worked on getting the quality very nice, and trying to integrate this Picatinny rail without making it ugly, and really pleased with how it came out, and it's definitely been a hit at our home. And I'll go ahead and show you what you need to do to install it. It'll come to you with 2 button head cap screws, and with a longer set screw and a little coupling nut in there. I'll show you more about that in just a second. It'll also come with a 5/64 Allen key and a 3/32 Allen key that you'll need for installation, and you will need a little square head screwdriver or a flathead screwdriver. I'm going to use the square head here. It's a little bit easier to get lined up with this screw with the square head. With the flathead, whenever you're spinning it, you know, it wants to tear the paint off of your little trigger guard there. So if you have this, I think it's better, and it, you know, doesn't mess up that screw. It's you know, they're just not as common. This one is from a Craig jig set, but I also have, you know, the small bits and everything that you can put on a screwdriver. But this one's nice and narrow, and it's really easy to get in there without, you know, turning it off at an angle like that. So enough about that. The first thing that you will do is you will remove this screw here from the trigger guard. So go ahead and do that. Alright, set that aside. I'm not going to be using this. I'm going to replace it with another screw. Also, I'm going to be removing the set screw and the barrel band here. And so the nice thing about this forearm is it attaches at the front and back. So, you know, there's a screw at the front here and a screw in the back here, without, you know, a little custom bracket that, you know, goes right there like another one that's out there, without a special barrel band like what's on the, you know, the Marauder. It has 2 set screws right here, and then a place for you to attach a screw there. So it's all you know, the stock parts except for the 3D printed forearm, and then everything is off the shelf items. And so I'll go ahead and show you how this front one attaches by taking this stuff all apart here. It'll come to you assembled like this, just to keep all the stuff from floating around in the bag or getting misplaced whenever you open it up and stuff falls on the ground and whatnot. This is a 7/16 long 832 screw. This one back here is a 1/2 inch long. If you take them out and you get them mixed up and don't know which one's which, the longer one goes in the back, the shorter one goes in the front here. So inside here you have a hex spacer nut that is often used in electronics, like a standoff or spacer, and this is stainless steel, nice and heavy. And you have this longer set screw here that gives you a place to thread something on. Oops, wrong one. Gives you a place to thread something onto this barrel band down here. So you'll just put this in here, not tighten it up all the way, Just loosen it up to where you can still move the band around. Loosen the set screw on top, but do not remove it. Make sure you can move that around a bit. Here, I'll loosen that just a little more so that you can slide this back and forth now. Put it down to the end like that. Okay, and then the next thing you'll do is you can put this spacer on here and then back it off until the flat on the hex is is parallel to the table here, and make sure it stays like that as you go to slide this on. Make sure that this screw is backed out and at the very least flush with this surface here, like so. Now slide that on. Now you can see the whole thing needs to move back this way, so you can go ahead and slide that back. If it doesn't allow you, it looks like I tightened up that set screw just a little bit with the standoff, so I'll go ahead and loosen that set screw some. Now we can slide the whole thing. So now that that's slid back, this screw should be pretty close to aligning with this screw hole here, so that's the first thing that I'm going to do. That'll get the whole thing located properly. So I'm going to use the 3/32 Allen and tighten that up, or actually don't tighten it up, just get it threading, back it off a little bit. And then now what you can do, the next thing is there's a little dimple in the barrel that this set screw goes into. So I would like to put that into its alignment feature next. So you can kind of rock it back and forth as you're screwing it in to see if it's settling into the middle of that dimple, and it is. So then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to tighten up this set screw on the bottom with the 5/64 Allen, like so. Now the next thing you can do is you could take this this 832 7/16 long button head, use the 3/32 Allen, tighten that up. You can get this one pretty tight. Just be careful not to over tighten it. It'll start sinking into the plastic. It just doesn't look really nice. Then come back through, tighten this one with the same 3/32 Allen. If I can find it, there it is. Tighten that up. So now added a forearm to the Crosman 2240 or the 2240 XL or some of the other guns that use many of the same parts. And yeah, it provides a nice little place to put your hand, and still provides some room for installing a bipod, a laser, a flashlight. It is a really nice match with our adjustable stock here. If you want to turn this into a little mini carbine, it also matches nicely with our new Crosman grips and suppressor. Of course, this is a really popular little air gun at our house, and it's a lot of fun to shoot, and it's just really nice, small and compact, and gets the job done.